except for the tree's still alive, but it's in another dimension or another time frame. A good friend of mine by the name of Wally Gentleman. Wally Gentleman won the Academy Award for the movie 2001. Remember the space obelisk? He's examined all these photographs. And he said, George, I can reproduce them. You give me the money. He said, but no one-armed guy in the middle of nowhere is going to do these things. I said, okay. Anyway, they put these craft next to the tree to act as stabilizers. The equipment that they use, and I'm going to show you something. By the way, I did bring, are all of you familiar with free energy motors and all that kind of stuff? I actually brought one for you to see tonight. I like that. We'll do it later. Anyway, they put the tree or the craft on the other side of the tree so you could see that it wasn't just a model doing it. Now, a lot of people claim that that's what's going on. It's not true. And I took some pictures. I even talked with a neighbor when I was over there. He had something going on. I said, "Do you seen anything strange?" And he says, "George, come on out here." And I said, and I went out behind his barn, and there was huge footprints in the mud. The guy was out milking his cow. He said there was a guy 7 meters tall leaning next to the barn. That's 21 feet. You know, I was all wound up. I come running back into Billy. He just shrugged his shoulders, and he showed me the plaster cast of little tiny people. He says, "Don't you know the stories of leprechauns and fairies?" In other words, within this universe, there's all kinds of things going on. Billy would, that's a movie camera. Billy would put down his movie camera, and he'd start it, and then he'd take his own pictures. That's, for triangulation, it helped. That picture was on the front page of the UFO Contact from the Pleiades book. That's an over satellite. Again, it's Switzerland. Billy still is in contact. He thinks we're a bunch of characters. He's working on with a few people over here. His best definitive history is in a book it's called And Yet They Fly, or They Still They Fly. It's in my catalog. If you want to know, it's got pictures, gives you the whole history of Billy. The guy's been with him for 30 years over there that wrote it. And I can't say enough about Billy. He's fudged some of the stuff that he's had, trying to get his story out, trying to get it there. And since that, he's corrected a lot of his information. And I'll tell you that why. Now, there's 3 craft. 2 of them are drones. These are basically craft that they use. The extraterrestrials are concerned about the planet now, but as a good scientist, they send out craft to measure soil samples, earth samples, air samples, all kinds of stuff. In fact, out in Franktown, Colorado, some people called me on the phone and said, "George, get out here." So I come out there and see a huge hole dug down in the ground. Went down 35 feet. The top of the dirt it's so hot it just melted like lava. I got samples of it. And I further asked later, and it was just extraterrestrials who were taking soil samples. If you're a good geologist or a good scientist, you want to know what's happening to planet Earth. We're going through a tremendous change on this planet. Again, that's I don't know how many is aboard that craft, 5 or more people. Their motherships, if you want to call them that, if they need them, can be huge. How many of you have been out looking at the stars recently, looking at the stars that strobe red, blue, and green? Stars do not strobe. These are huge spacecraft. This planet Earth is what we call the show that's going on in the universe. What they're trying to do is figure out if we will wake up to change the ending of the story that's being written for us. And that's what it is. Now, this particular shot, as you can see the sun gleaming off the side of the craft. There's one of them where you have the craft on top, a little drone underneath the side, just to give you an idea of how the pictures are done. And again, it'd be hard to recreate these things. But today you can. Now here's the fun part. I took some of these pictures. When I was there, Billy was in contact with, again, the extraterrestrials. They have a weapon. Now, in the universe, there's a rule. It says, "Thou shalt not murder thy fellow man in thought or deed." We shortened it down to "thou shalt not kill," but it doesn't cover enough, right? However, if somebody attacks you, you have to protect yourself, right? If you don't, that's suicide or self-murder. That's also against the law. Now, they go into great details about that, and I was kind of fascinated about it because of people that go committing suicide. They don't. All you do is get rid of this body. You got to come right back. Anyway, there's Betty with one arm, and here's this little little gun. I call it, the laser gun. That's one of the extraterrestrials. Wouldn't allow her face to be shown, but that's one of her space outfits. And there's the gun again. The detractors didn't like this picture because the end of the gun is about the same color as the fence that Billy just painted, but that's okay too. Again, as you can see, the outfits that they had were space-wide. Now, I have some documents. I'll tell you how fast they travel and what they do, and they say it's pure mechanics, and they give us a lot of information about it. That's what that gun does. Pretty powerful, huh? By the way, I took that picture. I was allowed to take 3 pictures. However, I fudged. The 4th picture I took was on us. They had a limb that was about 30 foot up, and I thought, that's pretty good, Billy. This was straight across, but this limb was up there. I'll get a picture of that. The 4th picture didn't come out. I had a full row of 36 film. And number 21, 22, and 23 are perfect, and 24 is totally blank.
Another universal law.
Yeah, better listen to it. Well, and then my friend, Dr. Jim Deerdorf, he's a professor at the University of Oregon, an astrophysicist. He went over there, and he got permission to take pictures, and he did exactly what I did. But on the 4th picture, his camera jammed. This is just to get you involved in understanding you're playing with things that are a lot different. See that? So that's just, all I'm doing is to show you the capabilities they have, and they have many, if you want to call it weapons, but they're all used in defense. Again, they have to follow the same rules. What we put out, we're going to get back at some point. Now they land, they cause, if you look carefully at these patterns in the grass, 2 of them are going one way and the other one's going the other way. That led to me saying, well, wait a minute, if it's doing that, then they're setting up some kind of frequency pattern that's totally different. So I'm going to show you some more things, because that's how we put together a little magnetic motor that runs without wires. Now, you've all heard of the crop circles. Crop circles have 2 purposes. One, to make you ponder that there's something else going on this planet. The other thing is the extraterrestrials have been given permission to stabilize the planet. The planet is due to flip on its axis about the year 2012. So the purpose of they have the twofold thing is they are at certain power points throughout the planet, they're in every country, and that is to basically keep us in balance prior to this supposedly flip. Again, hoping that we will wake up and we have the ability to change it. We, all of us, you and everybody that's here. What happens is the grass dies out, see it? Comes back the next year about twice as thick. That's landing, this particular spacecraft, I'm going to show you real close-ups in a second. It lands, the power just melted all the snow. This is, again, in the back, or the front yard of Billy's house. That's Billy's house in the background. He has Dobermans and also peacocks, because they make a lot of noise to keep all the strangers away. These pictures you will not see. I got these abilities. I figured they were the most important pictures on the whole thing that he had over there. The ability for the spacecraft to go between here and other planets is they basically convert all matter to light. Remember talking about going to the light? Well, take a look at this. You're taking a look at a light, you're looking at a spacecraft that is not quite physical. You see it start to form? See it again? Incredible? That's what you are, a hologram of condensed light. That's Billy in the middle of this energy stream they put around him, just to give you an idea. Again, Billy's house. I want one of these. In fact, I told him, I said, I want to ride for this. Now, a couple things that I found that was interesting about this. There we go. See right there? There's a gap in there. Now, that was kind of strange to me, except I started figuring out, by using some of the information I had, they're setting up a field using magnetics. See this? So what we did is we created a magnetic field, basically a horseshoe magnet. All the poles, north side and all on the south side, but we left the gap, like this here. And that's what I'm going to show you in a little while. By doing that, we've created a continuous motion of magnetism that is always out of balance. So it's always looking to cause some kind of motion to happen. Does that make sense to you? Well, we did it. Again, there's spacecraft Titan. And remember, well, you can't see them right now because it's not bright enough in here. We'll go to the next one up. Remember those, see the little tiny protuberances underneath there? That's what melted it down at the bottom. Again, they call this the wedding cake, by the way. This is the latest variation. This is a bigger craft. Now that's, as you know, the old Volkswagen bus and the little trailer behind it. Same, basically another picture of the same thing. I'm going to show you some crop circles. There's one of them. There's all different kinds of sizes and shapes. I've got literally hundreds of them. There's videos and there are books on all of them, and they all have, you know, their ideas that their communication. And again, the extraterrestrials assured me, they says, you guys don't worry about it right now. Just be happy that we're doing it to stabilize it. Each of these have certain patterns that are happening all over the globe. I mean, they were up in Montana, of all places, out in California a couple weeks ago. India, if you saw the movie Signs, that was done over in India. They're in Russia. Literally beautiful things. There's, I got the latest copy of Nexus that has like 10 pages of it. I don't know if you guys subscribe to Nexus magazine, but you know, contact us and we'll get you information on it. They keep track of a lot of those things that are going on. There's one in front of an apartment. I have some friends that went to England, by the way, and camped out in the field, woke up in the morning, and the crop circle was totally around them. I haven't put it onto this, but probably my next lecture I'll have it. I have a sequence where I'm going to show you the crop circles being made.
There are footage showing small white spheres hovering over the fields where the crop circles have appeared. In the documents showing these objects, there is one that has caused a stir-up. In it, one can see some spheres flying over a wheat field, and in a few seconds, a pictogram appearing similar to a snow crystal. The footage was recorded at 5 a.m. of 11th of August 1996 by John Wabley, an English UFO enthusiast of the crop circles phenomenon in proximity of Oliver Castle in England.
This is amazing.
Numerous controversies have been raised concerning the authenticity of the footage. However, the accurate analysis carried out by the American researcher Jim Dilettoso, an expert of computerized systems of video analysis, have not ascertained any trace of falsification.
My opinion on the Oliver's Castle video footage is that there is no evidence of a hoax. The key thing is that if the Oliver's Castle image was made digitally, that word digital says it went into a computer. In the vertical interval signal of the copy that we have, there is no evidence that it was ever digital format.